You are all very welcome back once again to the Trackmania Challenger League. We are halfway through our day, and we still have plenty more action yet to come. We will be diving into our next match in a minute, but as a reminder, our last match of the day is going to be our featured matchup between Schweinheim Racing and Alternate Attacks. And that should be an absolutely... It should be a banger. Should be a banger, Twiggy.
Yes, absolutely. It really should be. Alternate Attacks looked incredibly clean. I mean, well, we have three teams that looked incredibly clean in the first week, so it's hard to really, you know,
one of them was Samino's son.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, oh god, oh no. But yeah, it's hard to quantify exactly how good teams are only 1 week into the competition, but it's looking incredibly exciting so far. But our next matchup, that's what I'm more interested in at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. Two very different teams coming in. Schweinheim Racing taking on Sprout in this one, and in a reversal from how things often are in a Trackmania lobby, instead of having 3 French players and 1 German player, we are going to have 3 German players and 1 Belgian player.
Oh my god, it's unheard of, honestly. Yeah, that's completely different colored flags. Oh my god. But no, yeah, here's the thing about Sprout. They've had a hard time of it so far. Sprout. Yes. Sprout have had a bit of a hard time of it so far. Reps is the only map that they took away cleanly last week, and every other map it seemed like they really weren't getting many points. I think Parkour was the only one where they really got kind of close to the finish line. Everything else, back and forth, slowdown, and freestyle they played last week, it just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have to mention the fact that that was up against Alternate Attacks, who, as previously mentioned, looked very, very fast. And I think part of that contributed to Dexter, right? We have to talk a little bit about Dexter coming back to kind of top level play after a little bit of a break away for a while, and it seemed like struggling to adjust. But for me, part of that is, I mean, hey, it's week 1 playing back in the Challenger League. It's also up against an Alternate Attacks that looked very, very good, very practiced indeed, and that puts a lot more pressure on as you are forced to maybe drive faster than your comfortable pace just to try and keep up with everyone else in the lobby. So we're hoping to see a better performance from Dexter this week. I mean, he should be settling back into competition now.
Yeah, I think the thing is, for Dexter, for that team, it's a really interesting case for that team. I'm just looking over the stats that Magpie created, and Scrappy is, on paper, the fastest player so far throughout all maps.
Twiggy.
Okay, go on.
Gyroscope. Not banned.
Not banned. Oh my god.
Not banned.
It's happening. It's happening.
Everybody
stay calm. Stay calm.
Okay?
Stay calm. It's... okay. Anyway, Scrappy, on paper, the fastest player on the whole Challenger League so far. And it's not like Dexter is not... the Dexter is the slowest player, but so far has the least map success out of everybody in the Challenger League so far.
Yeah, has just been making mistakes when they can't afford mistakes. And hey, that happens, right? These are difficult maps. I'm trying not to scare it away right now, okay? I do think it's going to go through to one of our last 2, so we're just hoping that it does end up slipping to the random pick. And if it does slip to the random pick, well, then we just have to hope that it gets there. And then we get to a game 7. Either way, back and forth, Reps and Slippy Slides pick. These teams taking a lot more time over their decisions than we saw in our last match. Maybe something a little bit unexpected in the advance that came out from one of the teams.
Yeah, this one's taking a little bit longer for the teams to make their decisions. Slowdown is going to be our 4th. Immediately fired back with Agility Dash there. We're getting closer. Come on. Please. That's all we want to see.
It's going to come to the 50-50. We're going to see Freestyle selected now. It's going to be a 50-50 between Parkour and Gyroscope's going to win the 50-50. Oh! I've been done in. Parkour selected instead. Freestyle is our random map 7.
I'm so sad.
Gyroscope just falls to the bottom.
I'm gonna cry.
How's it gone like this?
I mean, this is just, look, we had Gyroscope every series during the regional. So
this is true.
This is karma. This is karmic justice. Gyroscope will never appear in the Challenger League. I'm so sorry, everyone.
I really like when the cars go sideways. It's just really cool.
I really like explaining how the cars have to turn around because the backwards boosters make it so that you go quicker if you're backwards, and that's why you do a 360. It's not just to look cool and blah blah blah. But no. No.
I mean, hey, we're still gonna have fun in this map. I guess in this match, it's gonna be
it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be great.
It'll be great. It'll be cool. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, either way, we will get into this one. And we've talked a lot about Sprout there in our intro as well. We should, of course, mention their opponents. I said Fine Name, I think, when I was on the way back in. It is going to be IZI Dream. No, I said IZI Dream. Obviously, no slouches themselves as well. Kakao and Worker are going to be doing their best to deny Sprout any kind of way into this match. It's, again, going to be a little bit tough to do so.
Yeah. I mean, these are the two players somehow that have made the most mistakes, as in bonking into stuff so far on that first week. So, I mean, we're hoping to see a little more consistency from both teams, honestly. Sprout are on paper the quicker team, but we're hoping to see more consistency, bringing IZI Dream to the finish line here.
And I do have to call it out here as we start this match as well. I love the Sprout cards, black and green. That's my aesthetic, baby. I mean, that's it's great. And I love the green. They're just really nice cards. I like the Sprout cards. At the same time, I will be fine if we see them in a mix of positions. I'm hoping for a close match here between IZI Dream and Sprout, seeing who can find their footing first here on back and forth. Sprout selection, and we're eyes on Dexter especially. I mean, Scrappy, we said it, was very quick as expected last week. It's up to Dexter really to show that he can keep up with the rest of the competition, to show that he can push this team into maybe even a top 4. I mean, I think there's still very much a chance that this is a top 4 team come the end of the round robin.
Yeah, so far, the start of the map for Dexter, incredibly clean. A really tight line there on the turnaround on the ice. Scrappy joins his teammate up in first and second here just now. I mean, all it is getting to that finish line here on back and forth. And, well, honestly, it's one of the more simple finishes out of all of the identities. It all just comes down to precision driving here. And so far, Kakao and Worker just cannot keep up as it is. As it stands, Dexter and Scrappy clean through the end. All they need to do is get through the triangle. No problem whatsoever. An ace to start things off for Sprout.
Yeah, they've studied their geometry. They can find the triangle and get in the triangle hole as well. And it is an ace for Sprout to kick things off here. That's exactly what you want. Confidence booster as you kick off on your first map here. Dexter and Scrappy looking clean so far. It's good signs.
Yeah. Can we get a zoologist fact on Scrappy?
Scrappy.
Oh, actually, we kind of do have another. We kind of have another animal here. We have cow. A cow. But it's not straight up just panda, but you know.
Cows.
Oh, here we go.
And beef. Zoology, baby. That degree, I'm putting it to good use.
I don't think you can call it making beef.
Well, you know, I mean, let's not get into specifics, okay? Maybe chat doesn't know.
They're really working hard to make their beef in the factory, you know? It's really, really important. It just makes sense now that we've got Kakao and Worker, because obviously the cow's working hard to make the beef. There you go. That's how that works. So it's a lot. It's a lot closer this time around, as Worker is keeping up with the two. I mean, that is so clean from both Sprout players, holding hands. No time difference.
What?
0,000th of a second.
I mean, Cat sitting around a campfire with his friends.
That is the epitome of Cat sitting around a campfire, very comfortable with his friends. I mean, that is.
Yeah, I'm dropping different words every time that I say it, but you know what? Either way, it is Sprout with 2 aces in a row. They are looking very, very practiced on this week, and honestly, not a massive risk of making mistakes on that identity. That's what carried them through that one as well. Scrappy with an overtake towards the end of the map. An IZI Dream, they've got to be feeling a little bit nervous right now, even about their own selections, because I doubt that Sprout have just put this level of preparation into just the maps that they planned on picking.
Yeah, I've been informed that I'm so sorry to say that it's Coco, not so it doesn't make sense anymore.
You got a free cow fact out of that one then, Chad.
Guys,
be happy for it.
You can't complain about that. You got a free zoologist fact. You've all been asking for it. We're here. More zoologists facts, and so far now it is Dexter out ahead here, moving into the identity now. Just needs to, I mean, so far no mistakes have been made towards the end of the map for Sprout. Dexter takes it home no matter what. Oh, it's close there for Scrappy being able to catch up to Coco, but no cigar, and Sprout. Yeah. I mean, look, I say, oh no, Sprout didn't get an ace. It's not exactly like that. That's it's kind of a high bar.
They've not made a mistake yet between the two of them once yet on this map. I mean, just incredible consistency, very clean so far. An IZI Dream, they're struggling both on pace and on just the mistakes so far on this one. Maybe this is a round to get something back. I mean, it'd be nice to have something heading into the second map, heading into your own pick, as Worker and Coco are trying to keep up. This time around, a lot closer through the first series of turns. This middle jump does sometimes claim a couple of cars on the way through, but everyone does seem clean. No slide outs on the way through. Scrappy a lot higher. We'll get a bit of a slowdown as Coco is now making the overtake happen. This is a much closer round so far.
We split almost into 2 packs of players here. Dexter taking the lead so far. It moves down into a draw position with Scrappy bringing up the rear, but a little bit quicker than Coco through this one. Worker takes the lead. Dexter just a little bit slower there. Not sure if his wheel clipped the edge, but Worker is going to be the one taking the lead at the end there. It doesn't really keep Sprout at bay, but it keeps them from winning the map in one go. I mean, IZI Dream now have to ace 3 times. Well, I mean, ace twice and then it's a draw, so...
Yeah. I would be surprised.
That would be, yeah. Hey, look. We've seen weirder things happen already today, I feel like.
We have. We've seen some improbable events already, but this is going to be very, very difficult for IZI Dream to get back into. They're going to have to dream it into existence, manifest these double aces. But at the same time, I think, hey, you can look at this map, say, first map of the match, our opponent's pick. We've gotten warmed up. We're contesting them better at the end of it. Even if we lose from here, it's up to IZI Dream to just take those warm hands, take a little bit of momentum, and carry it into their own map pick.
Yeah, it may just be a little bit of a too little too late moment, but in the end it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things too much when it's the opponent's map pick. Sometimes it's just they are more warmed up coming into it, they are more ready to play on their own map pick, and Dexter looks like he's going to finish this one out in first place. Worker touches the edge and gifts Sprout another ace to finish things off. 12-3 for Sprout on the first map of the series.
Hey, pretty dominant win for Sprout on their first map here. Back and forth goes their direction without too much fuss, honestly. That was one of the more straightforward wins that we have seen so far. Even, you know, keeping in mind that we've seen 10-2s already today, that one never really felt like Sprout were out of control. And that really comes down to complete lack of mistakes on either side. Sure, IZI Dream managed to keep up, managed to take a single round away, but even in that round, Sprout just felt in control. They didn't have the pace. They didn't need the pace in that round, and they just managed to take the win.
Yeah, and we were talking about how Dexter so far has had the most crashes out of everybody in the league by quite a long way, actually. But this time, yeah, nothing. Nothing on their map pick at the very least. We're going to have to see if that stays the case. But so far, looking very good for Dexter in terms of most improved award.
I mean, and we'll see if that does, as you say, continue. I mean, it's one thing on the maps that you knew you were going to have to play, maps that you knew you were going to pick. The question is, does that hold true on maps that they maybe put a little bit less time into this week? Because ultimately, everyone has a little bit of finite time to practice all these maps. There is 10 of them, and you would expect some of these players to feel more comfortable on some than others. Dexter, I still think, I mean, look, that was a great improvement on the first map, even if it was nerves in the first week, settled at this point. But IZI Dream, they're gonna have to work their way back in on this map. Coco, excuse me, is up near the front at the moment, and Worker is trying to fight his way back into it, trying to get the overtake on Dexter.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think Sprout, if Dexter is able to, you know, play to his potential, is probably one of the stronger teams in the league as well, so it's really important. This is the thing, when only one of your players is performing, it's all going to go down the drain for you, and we saw that last week. Scrappy did incredibly well. It just wasn't enough, but this time it looks like Dexter is keeping up at the very least. Coco does hit his wheel on the edge, and it looks like it might have gifted. Oh no, Scrappy, it does not Dexter! At all. Scrappy misses the risky finish. Dexter not only misses the risky finish, but crashes into it and misses out on the safe finish as well. Coming in dead at last on that one. It was an easy ace for the team, but somehow IZI Dream take away 2 points.
It can all fall apart so quickly. It falls apart at the finish line there for Sprout. What could have been an ace, what maybe should have been an ace, turns into a round loss. IZI Dream, Worker and Coco managing to take the first round here, and well, they put themselves in the position to do so. They were a little bit slower than Sprout. There was maybe minor touches here and there, but when it came down to it, they were there and ready to pounce when the mistakes came through from Sprout. And if you are going to be a little bit slower on the map, consistency is the least you can do to give yourself a fighting fighting chance. IZI Dream showing that so far. Worker is taking a very different line than everyone else through that turn, and I'm not convinced it's paying off for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely less risky, you can say that, but it is going to lose you a lot of speed. Maybe when Dexter is this far down in this round, it's not a bad idea to take it. Obviously, you probably will lose out that place to Scrappy, because Scrappy always takes that risky line. Is that a bonk there from Worker as well, sending him a little further back, but, you know, that's as you said earlier, the risks, sometimes you have to think about whether you want to take them or not, whether it's safer just to... Oh, Coco! He just into the sky! Icarus into the sun! Worker bunks as well! Scrappy misses the risky finish, but he's still fast enough to get over that line. No problem. Dexter comes through as well. Oh, no. Oh, IZI Dream. Oh, what's happened? What's happened here?
Rumors of the Ace's demise have been greatly exaggerated. It was just biding its time. It picked its moment, and the Ace has shown its face. Scrappy and Dexter in round 2 will find it instead, and they move to 2 points up, as that really was a collapse from IZI Dream on the identity.
I think it was quite the opposite of collapse. The dude went into the stratosphere. That was... I don't even know. Shouldn't have respawned, honestly. We should have seen if he could get the high jump record in Trackmania there.
I see how high he went on that one. It was pretty high that time
There's actually a really risky finish right above that jump, really high in the sky. If you bonk off it well enough.
Yeah, there's a khaki finish on this map as well. It's just none of the players have managed to discover it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Well, so far, Dexter again showing us that 1 week's misfortune does not mean that you have to carry that into the next week. In the first place so far in this one, leading up the pack. Scrappy about half a second behind on this one, but so far, if Sprout just take away draws on this one, they will extend that map lead to 2-0.
And this is good so far from Dexter, especially has managed to hold on. And it's worth noting the wall. Dexter wasn't, the fastest player last week. He was better on the identities than a lot of players. That looks to continue to ultra. He crashed. He crashed into it. I mean, honestly, yeah.
3 times.
That one, that's on me that time around. And also, no, it's on Dexter as well. 3 times in a row. They still managed to pull out the draw on that one. The score is they move up by 1 point, but the gap stays the same. Sprout hold on to their lead. I'm going to finish making the point, Twiggy, which is even last week when Dexter was struggling, he was middle of the pack on the identities. He still was decent at getting through them, and that is a strong sign for Sprout. As long as they can hold on, as long as they're in a decent position, as long as Dexter isn't too far behind, you'd still rate him to catch people on those identities if they're making mistakes.
I mean, call that man a valet, because he's the best parker I've ever seen in the world. That is unbelievably consistent in just parking the car in front of the checkpoint. I don't know how you do that. That is wild. Dexter again out ahead. Scrappy this time backing him up completely. But in the end, we've seen it happen every round so far already. Dexter, please just cross the finish line.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get there. Right now, Worker and Coco are trying to catch up to them. Worker is very much in the mix right now on Dexter's wheels, but Scrappy has a little bit more speed coming through that checkpoint and will manage to regain on this one. It's going to be tight at this identity. Can Dexter get through it this time around? Can Scrappy hold on? If Dexter doesn't, they will have to lead, but it's speed from Worker, and it's a mistake from Dexter. And now Worker is trying to catch back up and makes a mistake himself. Scrappy has struggled, but will this time around make it through. It is the safe finish from Worker, but enough of a gap opened up that when Dexter crosses the risky fin, it will be in 3rd place. Coco will cross in 4th. Mistakes early in the round. It's damage limitation from Worker, but that is all it is, as IZI Dream dropped to 3 points behind.
Dexter has pulled out the Giga Brain strat of not even going for the finish, instead just crashing before the finish so that you can then go at the finish with lower speed, and there's no chance of you parking it. Incredibly clean strat, but Sprout's still staying ahead. I mean, so far it's just been at least one player has stayed pretty clean. Well, I mean, Scrappy has stayed pretty clean throughout this whole map and stayed out in 1st place most of the time. So far, Coco and Worker having a little bit of a more difficult time keeping up towards the end of the map. There's been a few mistakes, a lot of wheel clips in that identity.
Very fun every time seeing Worker take that inside line, come sliding into view only to wave by again as the rest of the pack comes out with more speed out of the turn. This time, he's managed to hold on. Dexter with not the best exit from that turn. will now be right in front of Worker. In fact, Worker is going to be contesting him all the way up to the end. It is Scrappy and Coco, though, fighting for first place at the moment, and Coco managing to keep behind Scrappy, but Dexter has reclosed the gap altogether as we head towards this identity once again. Scrappy, first jump clean. Coco follows as well. No idea what's happening behind, but what is happening is that Scrappy will crash. Coco will stay clean. Worker will cross in second place, and an ace for IZI Dream will tie things back up, and they will make things interesting on map 2.
Reps always exacts its pound of flesh. I mean, always. You cannot get through that identity without one player at least slamming into a wall, or slamming into a checkpoint, or catching their wheel. It's insane so far. We have not had a, well, mistakeless. The margins are very fine. Round so far. IZI Dream now back in shouting distance, throwing distance, as it were, of this win.
This is their map pick as well, so I think something we maybe haven't touched on as much. Sprout were really bringing it to IZI Dream, but IZI Dream managing to claw their way back. Maybe just a sign of the comfort, the fact that they knew they were playing this map this week, knowing that it was something that they had to prepare for. Maybe that's starting to show as they're a little bit cleaner through there. Scrappy managed to carry the speed through the drift, regain the lead from Coco and Worker. Dexter is in the mix, and that's a crash out from Coco now. Lots of pressure onto Worker instead, trying to stay up with them and needing to overtake Scrappy to prevent potentially win. If Worker crashes out, this could be it. This could be the final round. An ace for Sprout finishes things off here. Worker is still clean, is on Scrappy's tail. The finish, and he's gonna crash. He's going to crash, and an ace for Sprout. Dexter will finish it in a stylish fashion. But it is an ace.
There is no way to finish things off. Dexter does the exact parking routine he's done so many times before, but this time does it on the side that crosses the finish line. That is poetic from Sprout to finish off that map. It may not have been an easy win for Sprout there, but I mean, you got through reps relatively unscathed. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah, and a very, very strong start then to the match overall from Sprout, taking the first 2 maps, including their opponent's pick in reps. Feeling good as we head back to a Sprout pick on this one. Onto Slippy Slides we go. You called it earlier, Twiggy. This map has definitely been favoring the teams that have selected it more than almost any other map that we've seen.
And this time, that's not going to result in an equalization of the series points. This time, if the person, or sorry, if the team that picked this map takes it away, it's going to spell a little bit of disaster for IZI Dream. It will be Sprout 3 maps ahead in that scenario, but when you're backed into a corner, you never know what can happen, so IZI Dream may just be able to bring out some heroics and turn the tables a little bit here.
Coco and Worker, I mean, they are very good players. Everyone in this competition are very good players. IZI Dream, they won their week 1 match as well. They came up against Exalti and took them down. But up against Sprout, it's feeling a little bit like a different beast for IZI Dream right now, especially a Sprout with Dexter awakened a little bit here, managing to drive much more consistently, managing to keep up with everyone on the track as well. Sprout, I mean, they're showing the potential that a lot of people thought they had coming into the competition. And IZI Dream, they're at risk of now having to reverse sweep the match if they can't show something special here on Slippy Slides.
Sprout so far holding hands as we move towards the first bug slide up the hill, and it's a good line from both of those. Although Scrappy goes a little wide there on the exit, loses control of the car. A little too much speed maybe. Dexter is now out ahead and needs to keep this clean in the bug slides. The first one is good. Scrappy is caught back up with a brilliant first line and actually takes second place back out of the hands of IZI Dream. It's all going to come down to this one, but Coco crosses the line a couple of hundredths quicker. Worker brings up the rear, but Coco manages to stop Sprout from getting that ace.
That was very, very close indeed at the line. Scrappy looked like he managed to do what it took, but on the very last slide, Coco manages to clean it up and manages to get around the outside with more speed. 0.02 of a second. That was all that separated IZI Dream from no points at all in that first round. Coco putting on a great performance.
Yeah. Well, IZI Dream are starting things off a little better than they have in the last couple maps, but still going to take something special, it looks like, because Sprout, I mean, they look completely different from last week. Scrappy is keeping up those same speeds, but Dexter looks absolutely brilliant so far in terms of being able to support his teammate, which really just, I mean, it wasn't happening last week, as we've said a couple of times before, but this time, yeah, just looking like a different player altogether.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff so far. Coco has been looking strong for the squad of IZI Dream as well. Worker struggling, I think, in the last 2 maps to really make an impact. Well, now is the time to step up. Can Worker catch back up on this one? Coco through the middle of the map. This is a turn that definitely can separate out a pack, and there is Worker making the impact I was just asking for. The reverse caster curse, you love to see it, as Worker is managed to regain, and that's a slide out a little bit from Dexter as well. Could be an ace back the other way for IZI Dream, keeping it clean through the identity, the name of the game right now. Coco is too far left though. That's complete crash out. That's a respawn as Worker is holding off Dexter. Scrappy a long way down the field. The question is, where is Scrappy? Is he coming around the final turn? Yes, he is. There's a finish for Scrappy and a draw as Worker manages to step up.
Yeah, that's a really, really unfortunate crash there from Coco. Goes a little too inside going into that first bug slide. If you can get a nice inside line on those bug slides, you can get a really, really big speed boost, or at least a better, you know, you're bug sliding for less time, therefore you're out of it quicker. But you risk that by going too far inside. You're just going to smash into a wall like Coco demonstrated there, and a little too... Maybe Icarus comment a couple too many times already, but flew a little too close to the sun.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I do like what we saw from Coco. He realized very quickly that the mistake had been made, that he was heading towards that wall and respawned quickly, but it's still a very, very punishing respawn if you fail on the second jump of that identity, or, God forbid, on the third one. That checkpoint is all the way back at the start of it. And so, once you have to go for the respawn, life, it's a little bit painful. Life is also a little bit painful for Scrappy at the moment. Just a mistake at the start of the map, leaving him 2 seconds adrift of the other drivers. Dexter with a lot of work to do, fending off 2 drivers from IZI Dream at the same time. The turn not as clean for Worker or Coco this time around, not managing to regain. In fact, Dexter extending his lead through the middle. Yeah,
so far no mistakes whatsoever. Coco keeping up just about. I don't think if Dexter doesn't make any kind of mistake here, he's going to be catching up whatsoever. Oh no, there it is. Dexter slides out on the final bug slide and gifts an ace to IZI Dream. It may not have been an easy ace, but it was an easy ace.
That is going to be an ace for IZI Dream, and it was. Dexter, I said he was under the pressure at that point, and just over-rotating a little bit into the final jump, not able to get those wheels catching. The bug slide doesn't start, and it's just Dexter watching helplessly as the car slides to a wall on the far side of the track. IZI Dream regain a lead, and a very important lead it is. They've been struggling a little bit in the first 2 maps. Now on map 3 at 5 points, they have a chance to steal this one away from Sprout.
Yeah, Sprout, I mean, maybe the panic will start to set in at this point. It's the first time you've really not been ahead of IZI Dream throughout this one. Obviously, IZI Dream have been ahead by a couple points every now and then, but so far you seem to have held all the cards here, Sprout. But this time, Scrappy, he's been in 4th place for quite a long time in these maps, and it's been gifting a few points to IZI Dream so far. So now, the confidence is back in their favor.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling okay right now. Coco and Worker are in 2nd and 3rd right now. Dexter was holding them off, but at this point has dropped back into 2nd place, and Scrappy's still a long way down, but there's still a chance for mistakes. And Dexter, great turn, managed to keep it outside the wall there as well. That's what you want to see. Coco with a wider line comes back with more speed, though loses it with a shoddy exit on that turn, and it's going to be a bit of a race to the back. Dexter may have just lit out. No, he's a long way around though. He is going to keep it wide. It is very different lines through the end for these two. I don't know who's going to get to the line first here. Looks like Dexter will hold on by just a 10th as Worker crosses the line in 3rd place to tie that round.
That was an absolute battle on the bug slides there. Neck and neck throughout the whole thing, but Dexter just had the slightly nicer line on that last one, making up for the slide out that he had last round. Brings it to a draw. IZI Dream stay ahead, but at least Sprout are within a stone's throw of that victory. Oh, well, not of the victory, but of IZI Dream.
Yeah, and this was, unless I'm losing my mind, of course, Sprout's pick as well, right, Twiggy?
Indeed it is.
Indeed it is, and with that in mind, Scrappy is, I'm going to say it, I think underperforming on the lead up to the identity so far. Has been a long way adrift of everyone else in the middle of the map. Mistakes that you wouldn't necessarily expect to come through. If they can clean that up though, Sprout still with a chance to win this map, move themselves to match point, and Scrappy this time around has not made the mistake early.
Yeah, on this round so far, seems like he's collected himself back out in front. Dexter keeping him lots of company there, and they stay well ahead. 2/10 already, the gap that they have created. All they need to do is keep that lead going. keep it to the end, but it's all going to come down to those bug slides once again.
Yeah, will come down to the bug slides at the end of the match. Dexter and Scrappy there holding on to it, and Worker will lose an awful lot of speed coming towards the end. And Dexter, he may have touched there. He still has the speed to get up top there, but Coco will try and regain. He's closing that gap a little bit. Could turn this one into just a single point loss for the team. It doesn't look like it's to be. Scrappy and Dexter, they will whip around side by side through that finish line. First and second, it's an ace for Sprout.
Sprout, that's exactly what they needed to get that confidence back on this map. They're back out in the lead, and all it takes now is one more ace to finish things off. One more clean one that time. Hey, that's what happens. Scrappy, he has not been looking so consistent. He has been looking well practiced on this map so far, but that was just about as perfect as you can get.
Yeah, that will be clean for them on that one, and it was what we needed. Scrappy to clean things up, and in doing so, propelled them to that ace. Wonderful stuff from Scrappy and Dexter. IZI Dream, though, having had this map in their grasp, having had the lead, surely they will want to give it up so easily. Worker and Coco digging deep now. What can they find in the back half of this? They can't afford another ace. They cannot afford to give it up. Sprout at this point would just win the map, would put themselves onto match point. It's up to Worker, maybe at this point, to try and manage to hold onto it. Scrappy, with a little bit of a slowdown, is now behind both Worker and Coco.
A really unfortunate place to slow down there as you get less speed going through into the engine off area. Suddenly, that small lead that you've given to the opposition turns into quite a big one, now falling 4 tenths behind. Dexter trying to keep up with Worker and Coco here, but they're both coming through with a lot of speed into these bug slides. Dexter's going to have to take a nice line through that one, but goes a little wide throughout there. May catch back up, though, through the inside, manages to turn it into a draw out of nowhere. I saw it coming. I was thinking, oh, man, here he comes.
Oh,
we're not watching him, but I can see him coming through the edge of the screen, 100%.
That's a great round from Dexter. I said that he had been good on the identities last week, and that is proof of it right there as well. Managing to snipe away a win, and that is potentially a big swing in the match averted by Dexter, pulling things out on that identity. IZI Dream remain behind Sprout, and now Sprout at this point, a single win puts them over the line, puts them on those 10 points that they need, and puts them onto match point.
Yeah, this would be absolutely massive for Sprout if they can just steal this away after, I mean, what a good couple rounds that IZI Dream had so far. Scrappy is at the back, but he has not fallen too far back, not the same way that he had for the first 3 rounds of this. If he can keep up in the end, as long as one of these players comes first for Sprout, IZI Dream have no chance of catching up. So Dexter staying out ahead on this one, gets a nice turn through that and stays well ahead, has more speed in fact moving through to the next section, and it's all going to have to come down to that last identity. Can Coco and Worker catch back up?
Dexter, it's fine. The booster was right there. It's not the biggest mistake, but it may cost him as he didn't have the speed. He lost the gear. It looked like, no, he didn't. He's still here in the map. No, he did lose it. He did, in fact, lose it. I can confirm Dexter has lost it. Coco and Worker will win the map with an ace at the very end. At the death, it got tense. And they will take a map away. Sprout do not move to match point just yet. There's twists. There are turns remaining.
Yeah, all it came down to there was just a couple of slide outs in a couple of unfortunate locations. That was one of the closer maps that we've seen so far this series, and that is, yeah, all it comes down to is one tiny error. Sometimes not even straight up an error. Sometimes it's just unfortunate that you don't land perfectly 90 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, that time around, I think Dexter, he clipped just going into that first booster before the first jump of the identity. From there, the gear changed at a very awkward time for him as he went around that bug slide. He ended up losing and slipping out altogether. And while he did make the next jump, there was no May. He was making the final one at that point. And hey, it's the small margins, right? Even when it looks like you're on track, managing to recover from there can be quite difficult. Dexter, not able to do it that last time around. Hey, he put in very good work on that last map. But we do have to give full credit to Worker and Coco as well for always leaving themselves in positions where they could capitalize if there was a mistake. That time around, both of them were there. The mistake came through, and they take away the ace. IZI Dream taking away their first map, back onto one of their selections, back onto Slowdown we go a little bit later in the match than we've seen previously in the day.
Yeah, so far the storyline is kind of turning itself into Sprout with the speed, IZI Dream with the consistency. We'll see how that develops throughout the rest of the series, but moving on to Slowdown. Obviously, speed is not just the name of the game. It is going to come down to consistency as we move to the identity. So maybe Worker and Coco can stay ahead throughout this one.
see how this one goes. Map 4 of the match in IZI Dream. They are in a tough spot right now. Can they pick up a win on this one? It's good. Look, maybe.
Maybe it is a possibility. There we go. That's glad we've confirmed that. Worker goes sky high over that jump, and that's going to put him straight down into last place. No chance of catching back up there, although Dexter makes a little mistake as well, manages to cross the line just about, but Coco stays ahead by 14 thousandths. Dexter falls back by only a 10th, and that gives a draw to IZI Dream.
That will just about be the draw to start the match off here. IZI Dream do hold onto it. Sprout looking to fight back here in this next round. Coco and Worker, though, they've been clean through this one. The identity on this one, again, about that risk-reward management. Choosing how much you want to risk it, how much you can risk it before losing contact with the ground and flying off into the stratosphere.
Well, we can see now that it's really going to come down to this one, that these teams are pushing each other right till the very last moment, and that on the slowdown can really, really put that pressure on you. Obviously, you need to, as the title says, slow down towards the end. You need to be incredibly consistent, clean throughout that one, not have any wheels lifting off the ground. And when you have players breathing down your neck, trying to take you over, it's really, really difficult to keep that cool.
But here is Scrappy and Dexter, both of them nice and calm through that first one. Dexter releasing a lot there at the bottom of the hill, but it's enough to get him very quickly up the next hill, and he will hold on, but Worker's managed to get past Scrappy, and Worker with a very late charge went full risk and manages to hold on to a second place.
Worker so far has absolutely been keeping IZI Dream their hopes alive. It seems like just about gets, well, more speed throughout the slowdown area or the identity of the map. Somehow on those final, well, 1 or 2 turns on that one, just managing to stay ahead and has so far sniped 3 positions in 2 rounds.
IZI Dream, they're falling behind now, and while they did manage to pick up the last map, it's going to still be a tall task for them to win this match if they do drop behind by another 2, especially with Sprout looking to move onto 1 map to win it. Sprout, they have the lead in this match. Scrappy is chasing down Dexter as well, but Worker and Coco, they sit in 1st and 3rd at the moment. They're feeling comfortable, and that's a mistake, a big mistake potentially from Worker, as that will change the face of this match completely from a 1st and 3rd from IZI Dream to a 1st and 3rd for Sprout, looking to move further ahead. Now Scrappy can make an overtake happen on Coco as well. It's going to be an awful lot worse for IZI Dream. Scrappy faster up that next hill. Coco looking to snipe at the finish line. That's what it'll come down to. He's quick up that hill. I think he's done it. I think he has Scrappy. It'll come down to the finish line, and by 5 thousandths, Coco holds on to 2nd place.
We've had 3 rounds now that have had 2 positions within 100th at that point. I don't think it could be any closer if you tried at this point, but Sprout seemed to just have the tiny upper hand on this one. Worker could not come to the rescue there, as he was so far back after that early mistake, something that he hasn't done so far in this map. But there was no chance of getting those overtakes at the end. It had to be down to Coco. Coco managed to get 1, not the 2nd. So far, Sprout stay ahead. 5-3 now. Important that they keep those points up.
Look, a 2-point lead, though. It's not the biggest thing. That is well within ace distance, and it is well within IZI Dream's grasp to overtake Scrappy on this identity as well. Both Coco and Worker have been very quick through that identity, with Scrappy quick on the lead up to it right now. Coco has more speed, but speed does not help you, as you have to slow down, as Coco will catch a little bit of airtime with his front wheel. Scrappy makes the overtake happen as a result, and here comes Dexter. A crash from Coco at the front means Scrappy and Dexter find the ace, and it all comes down to speed in the identity.
We all, you know, we're all waiting to see cars flying up into the air, into those crowds off the back of those hills, but you're never expecting somebody to go too far inside and crash into the checkpoint. There it is. That's the first one of the day so far. I'm sure there'll probably be more to come in the next series, but my lord. Oh no, IZI Dream both fall down at the start of the map as well. Oh, it may just be a victory lap for Sprout from here. If
there's an identity that rewards you for being able to safe it, for winning the rest of the map hard, it is definitely slow down. Some of them, you know, parkour, very difficult to save. Aero pipes, very difficult to save because if you lose speed, you'll often just fall. This time around, though, you get safe. You can save too hard, though. You can definitely save too hard. That may have just kind of happened a little bit as Dexter is now behind Worker. Sprout, a first and third would still win it for them. And Worker's just kind of yeeted himself. He has yoted himself into the atmosphere. Somehow it's worked. He's still on his wheels. He's still going to beat Dexter to the line. He's not going to beat Dexter to the line. It'll be an ace. It did not matter, but Sprout will go into the books as an ace.
Oh, oh, there's no more heartbreaking way for that map to end than IZI Dream's dreams being crushed by Worker slamming into the final checkpoint.
IZI Dreams have turned into IZI Nightmares.
Yes,
brutal.
there it is. Or difficult dreams at the very least.
We had to say it at some point. Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure that was going to be said at some point.
Very funny. Oh, man. But yeah, no, now it is just Sprout trying to finish things out on Agility Dash. So far, this is the most one-sided. I'll hold my breath on that one because you never know what's going to happen. The most sided series so far that we've seen. Sprout now just need to close things out on their final map.
Yeah, Agility Dash, our first time seeing it tonight. One of those maps that did not get played a huge amount in week 1. And by not a huge amount, I mean it was played a single time. Not by either of these teams. So our first time seeing either of these teams on Agility Dash in the Trackmania Challenger League. Who's coming in with more practice? Based on everything I've seen in this match so far, I'm going to guess Sprout. They have looked like they've put in the work this week.
Yeah, so far it does seem that way. Ooh, Scrappy almost crashes into a lamppost on that one. The speed that you have coming into these turns means that the tiniest error in judgment, the tiniest angle you are off is going to do something like that as Worker does not even catch the track there. Falls off the edge and Scrappy moves up into second place. Coco now holding the lead.
Onto the gorgeous blue plastic we go, and off the plastic we go. Coco still holding on to that lead. Scrappy looks to have a little bit more speed right now and will be gaining, and Coco under a lot of pressure to hold onto it there. It looked risky. It somehow worked. Scrappy still behind, still with slightly more speed. Goes a lot wider to set up for this next drift and will try and gain on Coco that way. Doesn't quite manage to overtake. Now managed to make the overtake happen. Much better exit from that last turn as we head towards our pre-identity at some point coming up here in the near future across these switchbacks. Scrappy holding on to the lead for now. Dexter a long way in front of Worker and just behind our front two here. Everyone should be cleanly through here. The front two are at least, but Scrappy has extended that lead even further.
Well, all it comes down to are these last few jumps. Dexter with way more speed coming through on that one, and Coco makes a mistake and almost gives these two a lead. They can just they can safe this one through to the end, and that's exactly what they do. Dexter and Scrappy a full 6, 7, 8, more than, you know what, 10, 11, 12, 13 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's 10. A few.
There it is.
It's not a great start to the round, to the map for IZI Dream in a much must-win situation. They will give up an ace. Sprout, they've looked clean all evening long. They're playing with confidence for sure. And back here on another one of their map picks here on map 5. Sprout are looking well practiced. They are looking clean, and neither of them made a mistake in their identity there either. I was saying last time around there, Twiggy, that, you know, slowdown is kind of an identity that you can safe. It's a lot harder to safe Agility Dash because if you safe too hard, you lose all of your speed, you're gonna crash, you're gonna catch a border, and catching a plastic border, unlike catching a road border, is going to send you somewhere, and only God knows where.
Yeah, just on holiday, let's call it that. They go on vacation, and that's I mean, to be fair, good for them. You take a break, all good, but so far Coco, just like last round, stays out ahead to begin with, but we saw what happened towards the identity there. Every player just loves jumping over that. I guess it doesn't matter with the booster in front of you, but still.
Yeah, getting straight onto the booster, it's not the most punishing little clip to make, but it can still punish you if you hit it too hard. Nobody has hit it too hard yet. This time around, nobody's hit anything too hard to put them out of contention on this round. This one looking an awful lot cleaner from all 4 of our players, potentially to be decided on the Identity, an Identity that Sprout looked more practiced on the last time around. In regionals, we saw a lot of players making mistakes on this pit. This time in Challenger League, significantly less of those to come through. Coco gets a little bit of airtime heading through, and that airtime means that he is not in position to make that jump cleanly. It is Scrappy, it is Dexter trying to chase down Worker right now. Worker is holding them off, fighting for his life up front as he wiggles his way along the Identity to cross the line in first place to turn this round into a draw. And Coco just says, I don't even need to finish, and he will just send himself into a wall. Do it again, it'll be funny. Nope.
Wicked. No? Okay. Well, it's just showing that you can do it in the end. Obviously, you know, you've made one mistake on it, and then you don't make it to it the next time.
Kind of cool. Pretty wicked. Pretty wicked at
honestly,
the end
pretty
from
wicked.
Coco.
Style points, I'm going to give that... I don't know, it was
the
like
angular velocity.
Yeah, there was like a, it was like a
720
kind of like, there was some spinning going on. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Sure.
For wicked points. I like that.
I respect it.
That was
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, would be great to get 7 points on the board instead of those wicked points. Not so much in the cards for IZI Dream in that last round, but Sprout, they are still consistent. They're consistent. Look, I'm looking.
The Challenger League may keep their own, you know, scores on, you know, like obviously how many times you win a series and the round difference. I keep track on my own spreadsheet of wicked points, so there is going to be a winner on wicked points at the end of the Challenger League, and I'll keep updating you guys on the standings on that one throughout.
For sure. Of course, there will be winners in many more categories than that across all of Trackmania. Tonight, after this stream ends, the Trackmania Awards for 2022 will be being put on, so don't go anywhere. That just felt like a natural segue to bring that up.
That was actually a really good segue. I was about to say, brilliant segue. Well done. Scrappy so far staying close to Coco, who has been incredibly consistent through the start of the map at this point, but I mean, I think we've seen that it doesn't matter how consistent you are through the start of the map, as long as you can make the finish happen. And here we are once again, Scrappy out in first to begin with. Worker has a tiny bit more speed, but goes a little higher on that first turn. It's going to be down to a matter of tenths, but Worker just goes a little too wide, has to turn back, but Scrappy slams into a wall. Worker crosses the line first. Coco once again makes a mistake and does not manage to make it across that line, but Scrappy has had to respawn as well. Dexter finishes the line in second, but there's Coco to come third and give IZI Dream, at the very least, 2 points in this round.
This is the comedy of errors I've heard so much about. It was comic there at the end. It's Worker across the line in 1.5 minutes, and it is everyone else nearly 10 seconds behind him. The ultimate result is a round win for IZI Dream. Sprout, though, still 2 in front, won't be feeling too worried right now. They have points and a lead to play with, both overall and in this one, as we see Sprout on those billboards there. This is their pick. They're feeling comfortable on it so far.
Yeah. I mean, look. Okay, so at this point, you know how like a string can get too silly, obviously, and like, obviously, if we don't talk about the game whatsoever, that's a bad thing. But so far, nothing has happened until the identity on this map.
Yes. The players genuinely, like, for
what is there
still,
to talk about?
It's a difficult map through the rest of it as well. There's a lot of jumps, a lot of transitions. There's room to gain and lose tenths, especially. And there's a crash from Worker, but again, it's straight onto a booster, right? He's going to lose 5 tenths. He'll probably still be within a second of the leaders, and you can lose more. Okay, he was just outside a second. Cut me some slack on that one. I was pretty close.
Yeah, no, it was a good attempt at a guess there. You didn't know what obviously, you know, the camera went away. We didn't see him for a second, so that's fine. No problem whatsoever. But it's always the same standings, it seems like, as we move towards these side jumps here. It's always Coco in first place. It's always Scrappy in second place. Dexter in third or fourth, and then Worker also in third or fourth. And it's all going to come down to, once again, the identity. Here we are. We have arrived. Scrappy has a little more speed. Coco trying to keep up. Can Coco get through this one cleanly, at the very least? Less speed than Scrappy, clips a wheel on the edge, but stays going. There we go! Coco makes it through unscathed, almost gets sniped by Dexter, but who cares?
He's absolutely, that is how often, like, Worker, he tries to copy Coco. He was trying to learn the strat there. You clip a wheel and still make it through to the end. Doesn't quite work out for Worker, but Coco does enough to secure the single point for the team anyway. And it is rare that you see someone on Agility Dash clip a wheel on the identity and still make it to the finish.
I mean, hey, look at it this way. Technically, the quickest strat would probably be to, I don't know how this would be done, but plastic bounce at the start and not have to worry about going through all those turns and just go straight to the finish line, right? Technically, that is a viable strat. I'm not saying that it's...
I don't think it is.
I'm not saying that it's consistent. I'm just saying that it's technically viable.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for online world records would not work here in Challenger League, and also I just don't think there's an angle there, if I'm totally honest.
I reckon. You know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna go into a server and I'm gonna grind that out for hours. Oh worker. My worker again.
This is Twiggy's fastest way only application. He's doing it live on air. He's promising that he's going to shortcut the end of the map here. I'd be impressed. I don't think we're gonna see it in these rounds anyway. We might see Coco hold on for a win. He's been losing out to Scrappy on the identity time and time again. Might mix things up this time around. Might lose out to Dexter on the identity. Might even lose out to Dexter before that, as Dexter on a charge right now will manage to overtake in the middle of the map. Coco in front at the moment. Or sorry, behind Dexter at the moment, as Dexter has managed to make that overtake happen. Scrappy has dropped back by a few tenths. Dexter will make the mistake. Coco regains the lead, but still at risk from Scrappy. Coco has been the only player consistently taking airtime into that. It's cost him on the lineup a couple of times into the identity. This time around, it's fine. This time, Scrappy will lose the wheels from under himself. There you go, Dexter and Worker with speed. Coco crashes somewhere in front. Dexter, it didn't look like he would, but he will take the win on this round as Worker will take second. And Coco, no, his respawn is not good enough. Like the speed isn't there. Scrappy off in the distance will find a finish. Another round win for Sprout. Not like this, but yes, this is how it goes. Sprout moved themselves to 1 point away from winning their match.
Coco, please. I thought he'd figured it out on that last round. I thought he'd got it consistent there, but again, that identity proving I don't know. Tough. I don't even know. Yeah, tough. Just tough, honestly. Coco has stayed out ahead pretty much every single round. He's been first moving into, if not the identity, at least the side jumps before we move to the identity. And it's always managed to equalize him back out to the middle of the pack or to last place. And so far, that has just been opening the door for Sprout to take away a lot of points.
And it is still Scrappy in the lead. There's Coco into a wall. For as clean as he has been through the rest of this map for most of these rounds, it won't happen this time around on what could be potentially the final round of this match, our third match of the day, looking to come to an end here. It would take a miracle for Scrappy or Dexter to not be in the top two right now, and all they need is one of them in the top two in order to win it. If we're honest, I think they're going to look for the ace. I think Worker is going to struggle to stay consistent on this one. It's been tough the entire way through, but I'd love to see it. Go on, Worker. Finish this one out in first place. It's for pride, if for nothing else, and he's holding on to that lead towards the identity.
Well, so far before the identity, Worker has not come into this one in first place. This is the first time he's entering in first place, but there it is, the curse of being in first. The first person to go into the agility dash identity seems to claim another victim. Scrappy and Dexter both make it through, holding hands to the very end. Sprout take the series.
Well, there you have it. Sprout in fairly dominant fashion, 4-1, a scoreline we saw an awful lot in week one. Will manage to take this match, and they will move to 1-1 overall after 2 weeks. And the first week lost 2 alternate attacks. I mean, given that Dexter was still, getting back up to speed here in competitive play, not the worst time that they could have come across what many people are calling the strongest team in this league at the moment.
Yeah, Dexter definitely most improved award between these two series so far.
Fast today.
Yeah,
just
absolutely
very quick.
Just fast, consistent. Much better than we saw last week, and that is exactly what Sprout needed to take the victory there.
Well, one more break, everyone, and we will be back with one more match, our final match of the week for the Trackmania Challenger League. Although, of course, there will be more Trackmania Grand League action happening tomorrow night. We are going to head into our match of the week. Fine Aim will take on alternate attacks. Make sure you get back in time for that one. It's going to be a quick break. We'll see you here shortly.